Let's discuss all of this with Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada. She is on the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, thank you for being here with us. I'm wondering how you are viewing this. Do you see this as a leverage move to pressure Zelensky, or are we witnessing the beginning of a new world order here?
Well, I frankly think it's embarrassing that President Trump called Zelensky a dictator when clearly this war was started by the real dictator, who's Vladimir Putin, brutally invading a democratic sovereign nation. This war could be stopped tomorrow if Putin stops it. He started it, he can stop it. And so what's going on right now, this is good that they're at least talking to Zelensky, but the president, others, having meetings with Vladimir Putin without bringing Ukraine to the table, this is unacceptable. We wouldn't have any negotiations with any other countries like this. They need to be involved, and they need to agree to any kind of deal that may go forward.
Our national security team here at CNN has some new reporting that the U.S. intel is assessing that Vladimir Putin isn't really serious about reaching a peace deal and that he's just focused on his maximalist views when it comes to Ukraine. What do you know about that?
Well, what I can tell you is what we all know, is that Vladimir Putin's dream is to put together a Russia from another century. And he'll stop at nothing to do that. And how he's working, maybe using the United States in this moment with Donald Trump now trying to flip the script on what happened in this war. Frankly, it's embarrassing, it's disappointing, and we need to be sure that we strengthen our ties with our democratic allies and partners around the world against brutal dictators like Vladimir Putin, like China, like North Korea, and that is what will keep us safe, ultimately, all around the world.
Vice President J.D. Vance was just speaking on U.S. negotiations with Russia and Ukraine at CPAC. I want to listen to that.
Why are you talking to Russia? Well, how are you going to end the war unless you're talking to Russia? You've got to talk to everybody involved in the fighting if you actually want to bring the conflict to a close, and I know the president does. But I'll tell you the goals that animate President Trump's policy. It's really simple. He wants the killing to stop. He wants to bring lasting peace to Europe. He doesn't just want to stop it now and have the war restart a month from now. He wants to bring lasting peace to Europe because the president believes this, and he's absolutely right. Peace is in the interest of Russia, it's in the interest of Ukraine, it's in the interest of Europe, but most importantly, peace is in the interest of the American people, and he's going to fight for it for the remainder of his administration.
Do you believe, as the vice president says, that Trump's actions will bring lasting peace to Europe?
Well, I can tell you what will bring lasting peace to Europe is pushing Vladimir Putin back, is not giving in to what he wants. This was his goal the whole time, is to keep pushing more towards putting back together a Russia from another century. He's not going to stop at that. So what's actually going to make us safer, more safety and peace around the world is for us to strengthen our partnership with our NATO allies and other partners and allies around the world, democratic nations, really pushing back on bullies and dictators who think that they can march in, kill people, bomb hospitals, do all of these things, and then they're going to get what they want. We shouldn't be giving in to a bully, and I'm going to stand tall for that, and I hope my Republican colleagues will recognize the truth on that and stand with us on the Armed Services Committee and the Foreign Relations Committee.
Some have been outspoken. Some, you have Senator Wicker, you have Senator Graham, but others have stayed quiet. Others who we know what their views are on Russia because they've said it previously. What are you hearing from your Republican colleagues? Would you like to see more of them speak out publicly?
I would love for more of them to speak up publicly. We know what they said in the past before Donald Trump was reelected president. We know what they think. We know what they've stood for. And so they need to stand tall and stand up for democracy, stand up for our allies, stand up for what we created post-World War II during the Cold War that has kept us safe for so many years. How do we build on that? How do we strengthen that? They know the answer to that. They need to come forward. I can't speak for them, but I will say it's disappointing to see their lack of engagement on this in the public arena.
You mentioned the lack of engagement there. there are many Democratic voters out there who are frustrated with your party's response to everything, response to Trump so far. They think that there's been a lack of engagement from Democrats on really critical issues. Are you satisfied with Democratic leadership right now?
Well, I can tell you that it's not even been 100 days of the Trump presidency, and there's been a lot of chaos, to say the least. So we're trying to get a handle on what's going on. We're starting with our committees. We're trying to be sure that the Senate stands for what we do, that we stand up and that we assert ourselves as a separate but equal co-branch of government. And so it is important that we continue to move forward with our hearings, with transparency. We think about all the things that are going on. The President fires all the inspector generals. He wants transparency in government. You don't fire the watchdogs who help you do that. We have things going on in Europe, in Ukraine, in the Middle East. You don't go through and eliminate everything that will make us safer. And so we're trying to get a handle on what's going on so that we can move forward in a productive way, and I'm willing to work with anyone to get that done.
And certainly there's been a lot coming out of everyone since President Trump took office. I think he would admit that himself. But I just circle back to the initial question. Are you satisfied with Democratic leadership right now? Do you think Democratic leadership is doing enough, or would you like them to see them do more?
Well, I think that we have to realize that we're in the minority. They have the White House, they have the House, and they have the Senate. So the tools that are available to us here as legislators, certainly as senators, members of Congress, they are limited. So what can we do? We can use litigation, we can use some legislation, we can use hearings, we can speak out, we can speak up, we can highlight, we can do everything we can to push back and show the transparency of what is really going on behind the scenes, maybe what the Trump administration doesn't want you to see, to push back on, frankly, the lies that Vladimir Putin didn't start this war, that somehow Ukrainians started this war. It's not true. And so we just need to be sure that we push back and we're visible. I'm grateful for coming on the show and having a chance to talk about these things. We have to really show what's going on so the American people have an opportunity to see it.
I want to ask you about something else. Axios is reporting that you are leading a Democratic effort that would cut off funding to enforce Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. Tell me more about that. Are any of your Republican colleagues supportive of this?
Well, I hope that they would be, because we passed the 14th Amendment in the 1800s. That has been settled law. If you're born in America, you are an American citizen, period. Period. And so the bill that we put in, Born in the USA Act, what it does is it doesn't allow for any resources, funding, or manpower for Trump to kind of strip the rights of this amendment away from any of us. We don't know what he's going to do, but we're trying to be proactive, because if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. I'm going to fight to be sure that everybody who's born here gets to retain that citizenship.
Senator Jackie Rosen, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.